Now, let me share with you an example. There's two purposes of what I'm going to show you right here. One of the biggest things we just learned in that last session was what? Create something in the future to push people to. It is very important that you create things for different demographics. Okay, so here's an example of something my wife is doing here. Brunch and Bubbly. It's at the Lodge. It's April 13th at 10 a.m. And it's going to be it's going to be more of a gather, spend time, relax. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily coaching. It's just a chance for women to come together. Am I doing this justice, sweetheart? It's just a chance for women to get together and just network. Have fun, right? Mimosas, relax, just chill out. Now, this is an example of something. So now what we can do as a result of this is call every woman in our coaching program or every woman that's looking at our coaching program and say, hey, just get out, come out to the Lodge that day, spend time with my wife. You'll enjoy it. No pressure. You understand what I'm saying? Now, we have multiple purposes for doing these events. We rent this lodge. You may want to do something here for yourself. Well, if we rent this lodge, which is an asset to us, the first thing for us to rent it is you got to do what? Have money. Have money? You do have to have a little bit of money. Yeah. Here's the point. You don't know about this lodge until we get you where? In the lodge. Okay? So we create events in the future. So if you're a woman and you're interested in coming and doing something like this, then you can sign up for that. I expect she'll have 50 women or more. We almost always have that many at all the women's events. So this is an example of something you need to be thinking. You need to be thinking about things like this. This would be an entertainment event, not an education, more networking, more social. So I called a woman in our market that's one of our good friends who owns a women's store, and I said, I want to do an event with you for women. And I want to call it What Drives Her. I want to do it at my Greatness Factory. I want you to push out to all your women business owners that you know. It'll give her a chance to get in front of them, gives me a chance to get in front of them, but who's going to get them there? She is. So now we're tapping into different markets, which goes back to this concept of the different doors to open up. I don't care what door you come in, I just want you doing what? Coming in the door. So these are examples of things you need to be thinking about to tackle different people. One of the biggest mistakes I see people make is they generate hundreds, if not thousands of customers, and they never let those customers exchange with each other. Like there's value in your network. You build a network of 400 or 500 people, and they're all like-minded people, but you don't ever let me spend any time with them. You don't ever let me share anything with them. You don't ever let me exchange with them. You're missing a big part of follow-up. The value of any network is exponentially grown by each individual participant that is added to that network. Everybody with me? So the reason these guys would help me build the Chattanooga market, or you would help me build the Lexington market, is it Lexington or Louisville? Louisville market, is because if I go to those markets and that becomes this huge network of like-minded people, there's value to them in there because they could sell those people too. Like in Monster Producer, there is millions of dollars exchanged between my members. Millions. It ain't like a little BNI network that does 100,000 between each other. It is like millions of dollars of money that is exchanged between members of my coaching program. You follow what I'm saying? So I didn't build the program for that. I built it to coach people. The byproduct of just building 700 like-minded people is they all want to exchange with each other. It's up to them to exchange. I'm not going to do it for them. I'm just going to create the structure for them to exchange. So what am I telling you? Every person that walks in their restaurant, if there's a way for us to co-mingle together, you bring me back to them, and I get some business out of that, you just became more valuable to me. Not just because the food's good, because you opened doors for me that I didn't have before I met you. Everybody see that? So let's take Dr. Hotze, for example, who's a good friend of mine, and we go to the Hotze Health and Wellness Center in Houston. He had 31,000 guests that's gone through there. Here's what I said to him when I started coaching. I'm like, man, let these people hang out with each other. They're all successful people. Like, you need to be having events and parties and monthly luncheons, and let me meet some of these people in Houston, because you never know what can happen when I meet them, right? Does it make his services more valuable to me if he opens the door for me in Houston with those people? Yes or no? So right now I want you to think, do you have a structure for all of your people to exchange with each other after you sold them? Because if you don't, that's driving down your total, what's called the total value of the relationship. Okay? We got a 25K member in our coaching program, and he wanted to do an event in April, and he said, I want this guy, this guy, this guy, and this guy. And I said, done. Let me pick up the phone and call him right now. And in 4 phone calls, I had all 4 of those people lined up. One's from Miami. Now, does that drive up my value to him or drive down the value? Drives it up, because the total value of the relationship is up higher, okay? So just don't miss what I'm trying to tell you today. I think some people don't call people because they don't have something in the future to push people to. So it's like, what are we going to talk about? You know, what are we going to say to them? Well, you need something to push them to in the future. That's a very big part of this equation, okay? So if you're a woman and you're interested in this, then we get you signed up. That's going to be a lot of fun, okay? You get all those women together, they have a lot of fun. All right, now let's go back to where we're at. And we're talking about this concept of playing the game. I'll come back to that. Playing the game. We're playing the follow-up game. Now we got a before follow-up system. We got a during follow-up system. We got an after follow-up system. We just worked on before. Now, we have gotten your attention. We have built rapport with you. We have explained our services to you. You're interested. Now, we need to bring that sale to completion. And the way we're going to bring that sale to completion is we're going to come at you in 7 different ways to close this deal. So, when I say that, I say, okay, what's the purpose of the follow-up? Money changes hands when problems are solved. You got a problem. Purpose of my follow-up is to convince you that I can solve that problem better than anybody else can. That's why I'm following up with you. Don't mistake this and think the purpose of your follow-up is to check in or to touch base or to ask if you have any questions. You got a problem. We've identified that problem. I need to show you how I can solve that problem for you. Because money changes hands when problems are solved. The bigger the problem, the more money people pay to solve that problem. Okay? You could solve the same problem for bigger people and make more money, but just remember this, the follow-up is your way of articulating how you can solve the problem better than anybody else can. Okay? Now, you guys know Lenny Furr. Lenny from Chattanooga that was in class the other day. He was looking at our coaching program versus another coaching program. He's from Chattanooga, saw me speak. He was looking at my online academy for his people. He's in a coaching relationship with another person. He tells me the night he sees me, look, I really like your style much better than the current coach that's coaching us. Okay, great. So we got affinity. We know we got something, right? But he's in his coaching relationship. That's the inside baseball. My team begins to follow up with Lenny. Okay? He's touching. I'm interested. You know, so he brings his number 1 guy the other day to see me in Chattanooga. He's excited. I call him that night. After he leaves, I call him. Don't get him. Call him the next morning, 7 a.m. in the morning. Hey, Lenny, this is Coach Burt. Love seeing you. I know you're looking at our coaching package for you. I'm initiating this follow-up, right? So I had to get 3 or 4 touches to get him back in the room. Now I'm on 2 or 3 touches to get his attention. Now I've got his attention, and he says this, well, my other coach has presented another idea to me. What's his other coach trying to do? Trying to retain him. So he says, my other coach is kind of bringing in, he's bringing me some stuff from Zig Ziglar, and he's putting together this package with Zig Ziglar. Now, first thing you do in a follow-up is you never want to build an adversary. Here's what I say. I love Zig Ziglar. I grew up listening to Zig Ziglar. But Lenny Zig Ziglar is no longer alive. He's not creating any new content. You understand what I'm saying? Like, here would be my point to you. I'm creating new content every day. Every week my content is updated. I am coaching 1,000 people a month, and then I'm recalibrating that based on real-time information of what's working, what's not working. That's called a challenge. I'm not saying anything negative about Zig Ziglar. I love Zig Ziglar. What I did is I just challenged his premise. Well, let me take a look at what he sent me. So I make that one statement to him, okay? Lenny, you want somebody who's coaching, who's relevant right now, today, coaching, right? You told me you like my style? Yes. His coach is just trying to save the relationship. So I challenge him with one little challenge, okay? I reframed his thinking. Less than 10 minutes later, he texts me, call me immediately. I call him back, and he said, you know what? You're exactly right. I want somebody who's relevant. I want somebody who's fresh. I want somebody who's creating content every day. I'm signing the contract right now and sending it to you. And he signs up with us. Now, what if during my follow-up, he tells me that? Coach, he's bringing me something else. Let me look at. What if I go, okay, Lenny, just look at that. Look at what he's sending you, and then let's get back in touch later today. Everybody see that? This is a big part of this piece right here. You're interested. You have some confusion. It's my job to bring clarity to your confusion. The way I bring clarity to confusion is, Aaron, you told me that you wanted to go with me. You told me you like my style. You told me you're kind of over this person that you're with. You understand what I'm saying? Why don't we move forward with this? All he needed was that one knockout punch. Everybody understand? So what I threw was a boom, knockout punch. Why would I throw that knockout punch? Because we've already talked to him 7 to 15 times. He's already said he's interested. He's just a little nervous, which is part of the process, right? So he's got a problem. His problem is he's got 13, 14 salespeople. He wants them to produce at a higher level. My job is to convince him I can solve that problem for him. You turn me loose with your people, Lenny, it's on. Okay? We can get them producing at a higher level. So when you think about it, here are 4 purposes of the follow-up. Because this is where a lot of people really drop the ball. The purpose of my follow-up is to rekindle the initial attraction we had with each other. Like I was really interested. You and I were both interested in each other. I'm trying to rekindle that. This is why I like video so much better than text. If Aaron sees me speak and he likes my energy, what I'm trying to do is reconnect him to that energy. And the best way for me to do that is video. Hey Aaron, this is Coach Burt. Saw you at 8% Nation. Love meeting you. Man, I'd love to bring this to you people in St. Louis. You see what I'm saying? Like the video to me is a way to rekindle that energy. If I was a real estate agent and I just showed a house, I'd walk right outside of the house and I'd put that puppy right up there where they could see that house in the background. I'd say, man, look, I know you love this house. If I didn't love my house so much, I'd want to buy this house. Okay? Now listen, I got to tell you this. I wouldn't be doing my job if I wasn't a great agent for you. I know you want to sleep on it tonight, but if you got to sleep on it one more night, unfortunately, you may not be able to sleep in this thing. This is such a hot house, it may have 6 offers on it tonight by midnight. And I don't want to call you. So here's how I'd leave it. How would you feel? I've got the camera in front of me. How would you feel if I called you tomorrow morning and told you this house wasn't available? Because I don't want to make that phone call. Why would I use that psychology? People are more motivated by what? What they'll lose than what they'll gain. Right? So when I was looking at this lodge, and I'm sitting on it, do I want to purchase it? All of a sudden, there's all these offers on the lodge. Hadn't been an offer on this lodge in 3 years. I make an offer. I'm in the ball. I'm looking at it. We have 4 people look at this place. And it's crazy how that happens, isn't it, Coach? Nobody's bought it for a year, but now all of a sudden everybody's interested in it. Right? That's what they start using. I'm like, ain't nobody else getting that thing but me. Right? So we work with an agent down in Seaside, Florida, which is a very affluent area of Florida. And the average sale price of a house in Seaside, Florida is $1.7 million. Average sale price. So I asked the agent, what's the knockout punch? When a person is not taking action, what do you say to them? And she said, this is simple. I make one statement. Maybe you're not ready to own a house in Seaside. She said those rich people, here's what they do. They say, I will write a check for this house right now. She's like, it's a challenge to them. They're like, you don't think I can afford a house in Seaside? I will pay cash for this. Like that's what she says to them. Maybe you need to go over to Panama City Beach. Here's the point, though. That's a challenge statement. Me saying, how would you feel if I called you tomorrow and told you it wasn't available, is a challenge statement. You understand what I'm saying? A lot of people in their follow-up cannot do this. The purpose of the follow-up is to challenge a little bit. Articulate how you can solve the problem. Notice I used the word challenge here. A lot of people in the South don't like that word. Let me use another word, reframe. What I did was reframe Lenny. Lenny, I understand why you want to look at the stuff from Zig Ziglar. Would you be open to this concept? What you want is this, 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 and this. Yes, that's what I want. That was one little reframe concept. So if Aaron says, I want to start with you, but I need to think about it and I need to sleep on it, and maybe in the second quarter I'll be ready to go, what do you think I say to him? I understand why you want to think about it. I understand why it's a big decision. I always agree to calm him down. He's scared. I understand. When I make big decisions, I feel like I need to think about it too. But then I'm going to go, is there any other reason outside of this one thing that's keeping you from moving forward right now? That's an isolation question. Is there any other reason outside of you feeling like you're not ready to start that would keep you from moving forward? I'm trying to pin him down to tell me the truth because I think he's lying to me. Not manipulative lying, he just don't want to tell me what's really going on. So I ask a hard question. I understand, is there any other reason outside of this one thing, Aaron, that's keeping you from pulling the trigger right now? Because it seems like you want to do this. Notice that words? It seems like. The words it seems like gets a person talking. I do want to do it, Coach, but my finances are not where they need to be. I'm scared. Okay? Then I may say this. If he says my finances are not where they need to be, I say, Aaron, that's all the more reason you need to do this. The fact that you're scared about making this investment with me tells me your finances are not where they need to be. Let me help you get your finances where they need to be so you're not scared to make decisions like this. Does that make sense? I'm going to challenge him. I may also say, if you wait 90 days, it's going to take you 30, 60, 90 days to get the material. You're not going to be implementing this material to the end of the year. You're not going to see benefit of this into 2020, Aaron. Why would we waste all that time? That's a challenge to him. You understand what I'm saying? Take heating and cooling. Somebody comes out and looks at the unit. They say, well, you could do this, you could do this, you could do this. It's up to you which one you do. People are going to take the cheapest option. Right? They should say, look, we're going to fix this today, but let me tell you something. The next time I come out here and it breaks down, it could be $6,000 for a new unit. Now, you understand what I'm saying? Like, you need to make them think. Okay, all right. You need to make a person think. That's what a challenge does. Jay, what's your question? That's a great question. Chris Voss is who he's talking about. He wrote Never Split the Difference, which is a book on negotiation. And things I took away from that interview, we did an interview together. Just search Chris Voss and Coach Burt. And I pinned him down on all these questions, and he has all these phrases. It seems like you want to do this. How can we move forward on this? One of the things he said is that when somebody asks you a tough question, don't get defensive. Say, how do you expect me to do that? Like, I'd like for you to cut your prices in half. How do you expect me to do that? How do you expect me to give you increased value while simultaneously decreasing my price? How versus why? Why is a defensive posture question. So I say to Tony, why when you take action on this, Tony? Tony feels attacked. So he moves into a defensive position. Tony, how can we make this work? How can we move forward? It seems like you want to do this, but you're stuck on one thing. Am I right about that? Yes. If I remove that one thing, would you take action on it? That's why Brad Lee, one of his statements is, if it were free, would you do it? And everybody says, oh yeah, I'd definitely do it. Well, somewhere between free and what I've quoted you, we got a deal. Right? Because you'd do it if it were free. Somewhere between where I'm at and where you're at, we got a deal. Right? So this is very important. Now, how you follow up matters. Remember the concept of creative tension. So I'm going to show you two concepts here. Creative tension is, I just throw a little jab at you. And I create a little bit of tension, like, man, that dude's right. I do need to do this. I do need to take action on it, okay? But before we get into creative tension, I want to show you how to stack value, how to make the value so ridiculous that people can't say no to it. People don't move for improvement offers. So let's say I'm in your farm club. I'm in your farm club. I've indicated interest, but I'm not moving. I'm not moving because of what reason? Fear. Afraid of something, but I'm not telling you. Your job is to calm my fears, but to find out what I'm afraid of. So you're following up with me. Linear, nonlinear, and linear. That means you're jabbing, jabbing, jabbing. Okay? You're adding value. You are no longer saying, just checking in. Do you have any questions? Okay? Is there any other way I can help you? It's how can we move forward on this? It seems like you want to do it. Now, when you're putting an offer together, you got to know that you are in the business of presenting life-changing opportunity to people. How many of you think that a relationship with you would change a person's life? So you're not presenting an improvement opportunity. You're presenting a life-changing opportunity. That's what you're presenting to another person. You got to know this. You got to believe this, okay? Now, but the opportunity must address their fear, because I'm moving towards your opportunity, but I'm afraid of something. So here's how I present life-changing opportunity. How to follow up and close all the business in your pipeline without feeling like a stalker. Because the first thing I do when I say you got to go 7 touches, you got to call people, here's what people say: oh, I don't want to be a stalker. That's a fear. Everybody with me? When I did legacy selling, let me tell you how I sold it. How to double your business, double your income without cold calling 500 people a week, begging all your friends to do business with you. You understand what I'm saying? And chasing a bunch of leads. So I presented the opportunity to you, and I addressed your fear. Like, oh, I don't want to go to that if we're going to teach us how to cold call people. I don't want to go there if I got to beg all my friends to do business with me. So I got to address the fear. So when you stack value, what I'm doing is stacking the value so much that you can't say no to it. So I'm putting together an opportunity. Here's a stack value offer we just did. When I went to 10X, I was not speaking at 10X this year, but we purchased a suite. We turned around and resold the tickets to the suite, and we took all these people with us so we could go down there to a structure exchange. So here's an offer that is stacked with so much value they can't say no to it. Number one, we're going to fly on a private jet down to Miami. Now, what does that do? It's an intrigue ping. Oh, I've never flown on a private jet before. I think it'd be super cool to fly on a private jet. Okay? Plus intimacy. It's only going to be 8 or 9 of us on the plane together. You're going to be in a private suite with 25 other people just like you, like-minded achievers. We're not going to be out there in the stadium amongst all the common folks. We're going to be up in a private suite with food and drinks and celebrities, and all kinds of people are going to be coming in and out of this suite, right? Okay? You're going to get 1 year of my coaching program, which is typically $6,000 a year. We're going to throw that in. You're going to get tax preparation from J.D. Frost. He's going to do your taxes for you. You're going to get tickets to Tim Grover and Kevin Elko, the 2 retreats with me. And you're going to get the Rainmaker series with J.D. Frost, and we're going to do all of that for $7,500. Now, if you were looking at Monster Producer and you were going to spend $6,000 to be a Monster Producer, plus you like Cardone, and you want to go to 10X, how could you say no to that offer right there? Do you see how strong the offer is? Now, notice these are all ideas. Idea, 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 ideas. These are all ideas. Everybody follow me. Now, when you're stacking value, this is how you need to be thinking. We call it bundling or stacking value. So how does a mortgage originator do that? You come with me, I'll tell you what you're going to get. You're going to get your home protection plan thrown in, right? You're going to get this, 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 and this. And people are looking at that like, what? I'm going to get all that stuff if I use you? Oh, yeah. Look at what my competitor's doing. What do you get with them? This. You come to me, you get this. So what I notice about a lot of people is like you got a decent offer during your follow-up, but it ain't strong enough. It ain't strong enough. So therefore I'm looking at it like, it's not strong enough for me to take action. Okay? If you were sitting in my farm club and you were looking at this today, plus Tim Grover, plus something else, and we called you and we said, look, here's what we're going to do. We're going to give you a ticket to Tim Grover. You came in on a deal like this, didn't you? Yeah. You got a Monster Producer, plus you got a ticket to something else, plus you got, you're right? Like, here's the deal. All I want you to do is to do what? Get in the door. Get in the door. So I want you to take a second right now, and I want you to think about how to stack an offer for you. How to stack value for you so that when you're following up, you can say, look, man, look at how much you get with us versus how much you get with somebody else. Now, here's the thing people get confused about. Many of you are already offering, you're already offering a bunch of these things, you just haven't packaged it up right. Everybody understand? So when I tell people, I say, Kim, when you get a Monster Producer, I'm gonna give you, here's what, I'm not selling it to you. Notice my words. I'm giving it to you. Just key phraseology. You're looking at my services, let me tell you everything I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you access to Monday accountability with Coach Brett every Monday. I'm going to give you a Tuesday, Thursday rhythm. I'm going to give you access to a dynamic group of 700 people. I'm going to give you up to 7 times to come learn from me every month in Monster Producer. I'm going to give you some private events at the lodge. I'm going to give you, and I'm giving you all this. I can't believe I'm giving it to you for this price. It's ridiculous. I want to make it so ridiculous that Kim goes, I'd be crazy not to do this. That's how you bundle and stack something together. Everybody understand? This has been one of the best sales things I've done in the last couple of years, guys. Put ideas together and bundle it and package it up so they feel like they're getting too much value. They're getting so much value they cannot say no. Here's the one rule. Make it so ridiculous they can't say no to it. Make it so really. Now, the other part of this before you do your bundle is understand, I believe in volume. That means I'm trying to sell large volume of things to people. That's where the money is made, the compounding effect of a bunch of people taking action. So you could do the math on this event. If we sold out all those spots at $7,500, let's just say we sold 25 spots at $7,500 to go with us. You do the math on how much money we generated, top line revenue. We take out the cost of the jets, the cost of the food, the cost of the suite, and then if we do it right, there's a spread in there, and that spread is our profit. All the while, those people paid for our trip to Miami. We got to go to the conference. We got to enjoy. Now here's the best part. What happens when we get all the people to Miami? David Bilbrey, what happens when we get them all down there? Let me tell you what they do. They bump up.
You get a chance to get a half off 25K.
Here's the beauty of how all this works. So we get, David Bilbrey comes in for this offer, gets on the private jet, buys the package, comes in, we get down to Miami, we start having fun, we're out one night, I got another 25K member, kind of stoking the fire. David leans over to me and said, hey, bump me up to that level. Yes, I can do it, right? Did I have one conversation with you about bumping up? He came to his own conclusion, he wanted to bump up. Everybody see that? Why? Because we had a structure and we got there. He didn't stop at that level, though. He kept going. He said, bump me up to the next level. Yes. Bump me up to the next level. I'm in. Okay? Now, what if we didn't have this? Let's say David's just out there watching me on YouTube or Facebook, and he likes me, but we don't have something as sexy as this to pull him in. Everybody see that? He could watch me for 4 years and never take action until this offer comes along. See what I'm saying? Notice one of the things about getting a person's attention is curiosity. Pique the curiosity. Come spend 3 days with me in Miami. What a cool city to spend time with, right? Let's be in a private suite together. Let's fly down on a private jet together. Let's go to dinner together at night. See how many intrigue, what they're calling intrigue pings. These are little hits like, man, this is interesting. This is cool. Okay? So I want to stop right there, and I want you to talk about what your bundle offer would be. How could you and your business stack value as part of your 7-touch follow-up, okay? Take a second to work on that. All right. Now, let me ask you a question. Don't lose focus. Don't lose focus at the end of the day. We got to finish this thing. We got to bring it to completion. Why is bundling or stacking your value? How many of y'all selling commodities? Yeah. What's a commodity? I feel like I can get it anywhere. I can get a mortgage anywhere. Right, girls? Yes or no? Yeah. A mortgage is a manufactured product pushed through an assembly line, popped out on the other end to solve a problem for a person that can't buy a house with cash, which is most people. So I can get that product anywhere in the world. There's a mortgage originator on every corner. If you don't learn to stack value and say, when you come with me, let me show you everything you're going to get. We're going to give you all this stuff. Now, just look at the person in my program that's doing $147 million of mortgage production. Look at what she does. I'm going to give you a monthly coaching session on this. 200 real estate agents go to it. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to throw in this. I'm going to throw in this. I'm going to give you this. I'm going to give you this. It's like this. Oh, and you're going to get me, which is a free prize on top of the equation. That's a whole lot better than say, hey, we're going to get your mortgage done on time, and we're fast, and we're speedy, and we got a good group of people around here. You got to learn that when we're competing in very tight spaces, we have to stack the value to where it's ridiculous. And too many people don't understand this. You're already doing a lot of these things. You just haven't packaged it and sold it to the market. So if Brad gives a monthly consultation to his people as part of the services, he needs to say that. You're going to get a monthly coaching session from me on your financial strategies. Every time the market's updated, every time the market updates, I'm going to update you. We have a system that updates you every time you, right? Because here's the deal. Most financial advisors sell you something, don't talk to you. You don't know what's going on with your money. You don't know if it's up or down. So he needs to attack that frustration in the market. When he's following up with the person and I say, oh, Brad, I already got a financial advisor. I understand. How often do you talk to your financial advisor? Oh, I ain't heard from him in a year. Okay, then. Wouldn't you like to talk to somebody who's managing your money a little bit more often? That's a boom. Well, let me tell you what we're going to give you when you come to us, because at some point you're going to get tired of this bozo you're working with, and you're going to come over to the big boys and big girls league. And let me tell you everything we give everybody at our level. Okay? Everybody see that? That's stacking value. If you have multiple services, you can do this. If you have multiple doors to come in, you can do this. Here's what I would tell you. Give me something that... Okay? All right. Now, here's what I've been saying for years to landscapers. If I own a landscaping company, give me something no other landscaping company would give me. For example, we're going to mow your yard. We're going to take your leaves. Matter of fact, once a quarter, we're going to wash your windows for you. Completely free. What? Y'all going to wash your windows? Yeah. We're going to get up and clean the leaves out of your stuff. We're going to wash your windows. I don't care what you do. Wash their car. Do something that you can say when you come to our company, there's nothing, right? There's something we do that nobody else does. Give something.
Keep your mailbox clean.
That's right. Keep your mailbox. I don't care what it is. Stack the value. Okay, here's a big problem we have. This lodge, lights. You see the number of lights? Like if you come up here at night, there's lights all over this place. Well, guess what? Those lights go out. Those lights burn out. Now somebody's got to climb up on a ladder. Now somebody's got to do that. It'd be so much nicer if my landscaping company did it versus me do it. Is that value? Yes or no? So what I'm trying to get you guys to understand is when I'm following up with the person, what I'm trying to show them is, look, we're not even in the same league with each other. When I'm competing versus Cardone and people say, well, I'm looking at you versus Cardone, the first thing I say is, has Grant ever called you? Just out of curiosity, has Grant Cardone ever called you personally?
One time.
Okay, one time. You did it?
2011.
2011, that's right. I bet he ain't called you lately.
Yeah, not lately.
Now, I'm talking about him personally. Here, so here's what I'm saying. You're talking to me. When people buy my books online, many times I call them and thank them. And I'm like, this is Coach Burt. I want to thank you for ordering my book. I call them on Saturday night. I get an order in. Hey, I just noticed you just ordered $1 million follow-up. I just want to take a minute and thank you. And they're like, are you Coach Burt? I'm like, yeah. They're like, I have never had an author call me when I bought their books. Good. Guess what I'd like to do? I'd like to invite you to something in the future. If you like $1 million follow-up, I'm doing a day at the lodge you may want to come in for. You understand what I'm saying? What I'm trying to do is just give you something that you don't expect. This is what I'm trying to see. The purpose of the follow-up is as I'm hitting you with these things. So here's the 5 types of salespeople. These are 5 personality types. The relationship builder, the lone wolf, the hard worker, the reactive problem solver, and the challenger. I'm going to give you 1 word or 2 words about each one of these people. The relationship builder wants to be liked. They have a strong desire to be liked. I would never challenge Drew because I'm afraid he wouldn't like me. Everybody with me? Relationship builders supplicate. What does that mean? Drew says, well, let me think about it. Let me come back to it at a later point. The relationship builder says, oh, okay, Drew. When you feel comfortable, you just call me back. That's what a relationship builder does. They supplicate. Supplicate means they put themselves in an inferior position. That's what. How many of y'all have been raised to be relationship builders? We taught in the South. Listen, I'm a relationship builder. But relationship builders get ran over a lot. Every top person I'm coaching in any industry, their primary is not relationship building. You think, well, I'm going to show you what I mean by that. So relationship builders want to be liked. Lone wolves get the job done many times, but they're kind of selfish. They're not good team players. They don't play nice with a team. They get it done, but they have a lot of baggage. They have a lot of collateral damage. Okay? 3, hard worker. Comes in early, stays late, will call as many people as you tell them to, but they don't sell anything. Man, that dude makes 100 calls a day, but he ain't sold anything in 3 weeks. Hard worker. The reactive problem solver, something has to happen, and you solve it, you're in a defensive posture. The challenger is a person that takes total control of the sale. 40% of all top salespeople are challengers. If I looked at my top real estate agent, my top mortgage originator, my top insurance person, my top whatever, I would tell you they are all challengers. What does a challenger mean? It means they take control. They do not let the consumer take control. Right? You mortgage girls here, here's what that means. Here's what that means. Hey, thank you for letting me use you. We're the best at what it is we do. I'm going to need these 3 things in by 3 o'clock today if we expect to close that loan on time. They don't say, oh, if you get it in, when it's convenient with you, bring the files in and do those things. They grab a hold of that thing and said, look, I'm in charge of this because I'm good. So don't think of a challenger as a bad thing. Think of a challenger as a person that will challenge you. Like, would you be open to seeing it this way? Would you be open to listening to it this way? I understand why you're thinking that way, but I actually think you're looking at this all the wrong way. Does that make sense? That's what a challenger does. Okay, I tell Bob, we don't need the gamification because we could track our calls through a CRM system or whatever. Bob says, I understand you could do that, but let me tell you something. That CRM system's not popping them up on the stage. It's not helping you become more competitive. It's not moving the needle for you. He needs to have that kind of conversation with the person when he's following up with them. Because if not, they just keep pushing him back. Oh, we'll get to that. Oh, we'll get to that. He needs to be able to say, when we do the gamification, you're going to get increased sales. We're going to get increased sales because you're going to have more phone calls going out. We're going to track those phone calls. It's going to be competitive. It's going to be like a game. You understand what I'm saying? That's a challenger. How many of you, so now, how many of you believe you're challengers based on what I just said? That's right. See, I pick up on that. Miguel, I knew you were first time we met. He's a challenger, which is good, because you don't want somebody running restaurants that don't reframe people. Because employees are going to come in and go, well, how hard do we have to go? What do we have to do? And they say, no, let me show you how hard we're going to go. Let me show you what we're going to do. A challenger will not accept the status quo. Does that make sense? They push. Let me tell you a challenge question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about this? Because it seems like you're at an 8. Am I right about that? That's a challenge question. I asked that right in the very beginning. On a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about moving forward? Because you wouldn't have called us if you weren't serious, right? See, what I ask are very direct questions to people, not aggressive and pushy. I'm not trying to get you to be a pushy salesperson. I'm trying to get you to learn how to communicate directly with people. Are you serious about this? So what if I ask it that way? Are you serious about this, Brian, or are you just goofing off? Here's what I say. Brian, on a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about moving forward on this? Brian says, I'm only at a 2 right now. If I could show you how I could move the needle for you like I've done for other people, could I move you from a 2 to a 10? He may go, yeah, if you could show me. I just haven't seen enough to make a decision. Everybody see that? So my point to you is these are very direct questions as a challenge. Now, how does this play into the whole thing? I'm going to skip this one. Here's what you should never say when you follow up. How many of y'all are guilty of saying some of these things? Hey, just checking in.
He said don't ever say that.
Yeah. I had a person say, I woke up thinking about you this morning.
Sweet.
It wasn't your wife.
That's right. It wasn't my wife. You know what I said? What is wrong with you? Like, here's hey, you've been on my mind all week. Now, I'm okay with you saying, Chad, you've been on my mind all week. There's 2 specific things that I've been thinking about for you. I've been thinking about your business in 2 ways we can help you. I don't mind you saying I'm thinking about you, but I want you to bring some meat to this equation. Okay? I want you to draw associations. Brian, I just worked with another mortgage person over here. helped them pick up a lift of 30 or 40%. I'd like to show you 2 or 3 of those strategies that I use with them. See if you'd be open to it. That's a whole lot better than saying I just woke up thinking about you. Okay? If any of you from this point forward ever call a person and say I'm just checking in, I promise I will disown you as one of my people. Because listen, you could see, I could show you Instagram messages I have or Facebook messages. I could show you hundreds of them where people say, hey, coach, just checking in. Just want to know if you have any questions about the service I presented. And I'm like, I don't know you. You never followed up with me. I've never met you. You never explained your services to me. I don't know if you could help me or not. They just keep following up with me. Same way. Just checking in. Did you read the email I sent you? It's crazy. That's not going to move the needle, folks. These are things you should never say. Okay? What should you say? Chad, it seems like you want to do this, but you're stuck on one thing. Am I right about that? How do we make this work? On a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about this? Have you seen enough to make a decision? If I could show you how much more value and solution we could create for, would you be open to it? Direct communication with people. Now, does anybody feel like I'm being pushy right here? Because I could teach this in New Jersey and they'd say I'm being too soft. I teach this in the South and people are like, I live in Knoxville. Everybody in Knoxville is like real sweet and friendly. And I could never say that in somebody in Knoxville. I'm telling you guys, big time people value direct communication. Like, be direct with me. Don't beat around the bush, okay? Now, think of it like this. When you're following up, think of it like a science. You jab with value. Boom. Let me send you a video that we did on this concept. Jab with value. Let me send you a testimonial on somebody right? Let me send you a couple strategies. Boom. 3 jabs with value to every 1 knockout punch. Everybody see that? What if I come with the knockout punch every time? What if you're trying to sell a house to a person, John? Every time you call him, are you ready to go? Are you ready to buy? Can we drop the contract? Number 1, he looks desperate.
They're going to run away fast.
He can't do that every time. Here's what he say. I went back to my office and drew up exactly how much your payments would be in relationship to what you're currently having. Call me at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Let's talk about it. That's a jab. Second touch. Hey, I just worked with the first-time home buyers just like you. They loved it. Here's the testimonial video of what they said about working with me. Jab with value. Number 3. Hey, there's 2 strategies I'm going to use to negotiate this deal for you. I call it this and this. Jab with value. 4th touch. Hey, have you seen enough to make a decision? Because we're losing momentum here. And every day, I think we lose 10% or more momentum every day we don't take action. That's boom. What's a stronger one? If you have to sleep on it one more night, you're not going to be able to sleep in it. I'm sorry to have to tell you this, but I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't tell you. That's a direct linear touch. So think of linear and nonlinear. Direct, indirect. Direct, indirect. Jab, 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 hook. Jab, 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 hook. Okay? Then make it a game. We got one financial advisor who went on the plane with me. Went on the plane with you. We can't get that guy to sign up for anything.
Want to call him?
Yes, you do. Here's what he does. Blames on his wife. Just can't get my wife on board. If you heard how many times I heard this excuse, here's what I say. Would your wife be on board with you making a couple $100,000 more a year? Surely she'd be on board with you, right? Now, if I really want to challenge him as a man, what do you think I say? I don't have to ask my wife permission to do everything. Would you like to call my wife and ask her that? Here's the deal. My wife runs her businesses, and I run my businesses. She don't tell me how to run my business, and I don't tell her how to run her business. Right? Like I have permission to spend some money without checking with her. That's only if I'm good and pissed off do I say that. But I do say it to people before. I'm like, come on, man. Grow a pair here. Like, be a man. You know? That's a direct, because men will use that excuse, yes or no? Yeah. Wife won't let me do it. I mean, she controls everything in our house. Like, mama's got to approve this. It's typically an excuse. It's an excuse. They're just using their wife, who has no idea she's being used for this purpose, by the way. Yeah. Right? It's just an excuse. So I guess, and now listen, if I say that to a person, I say it and laugh. Like I smile when I say it. Some of my sales team members have tried to challenge people, and because their personal interest score is lower, it comes across as arrogance. Like I can say it, because the way I say it, they know like, hey, he's a coach, he pushes me. You understand what I'm saying? If somebody on my sales team says that to you, they may go, well, who do you think you are? Challenging me like that. You have to have some status before you can challenge people. Like, everybody understand? And when I challenge people, I smile. Like, you ain't got to talk to your wife, do you? Come on, man. It's crazy. I smile, and I have this fun conversation with them. I'm intense, but I'm positive. Okay? Now, here's my 7 touches. And then we'll take a break on this one, because I got to get the follow-up after this. Number 1, I got to get attention. I already showed you how to do that. Number 2, touch. I'm going to build rapport. I'm going to do discovery. I'm going to share my explanation of service. And if you haven't gone through the EOS course, you need to go through the explanation of service course to get this down. You need to have something valuable to say when you get in front of people. Number 3, all right, so let's say I meet with you. I meet with Krista. I got her attention. I got a meeting with her. I built rapport, do discovery, share my EOS. She says I'm interested. Very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go back and summarize that meeting. Very few people summarize meetings. Krista, we had a great meeting. There's 2 things you said that you wanted to do. There's 3 things I said I was going to do. I don't want to lose any momentum. Let's go ahead and get started on this. Boom. That fast. Everybody with me? Okay? Third thing I'm going to do, I'm going to summarize the meeting. And I'm going to push her to something in the future. Krista, I'm going to go ahead and get my Director of Client Experience with you. She's going to go ahead and show you all the events I got coming up. Let's go ahead and get you signed up for some of those events. Oh, but I hadn't signed up for the program yet. It's okay. It's okay. I'm your friend. I'm here to help you. I'm already putting her into a future state. Does that make sense? Oh, I got 7 things coming up, and you don't want to miss these 7 things. FOMO, okay? So number 3 is I summarize the meeting. Number 4, I show credit. So let's say Krista sits on the fence. I start showing some credibility indicators. Hey, Krista, let me show you 4 success examples of people I've worked with. And I'm getting them on a routine 40 to 50% increase in their business. They're loving it. They're telling everybody about it. Okay, that's a nonlinear touch. 5th touch, jab linear. Krista, have you seen enough to make a decision? Seems like you want to do this, but you're stuck on one thing. Am I right about that? Touch 5. Touch 6, nonlinear, specific example how you'll solve the problem, or typically on touch 5 or 6, I have somebody else call you. So I would like you to call Brian Smith. Say, hey man, I signed up for the program after the day on the plane with Coach Burt. Do you still have to check with your wife? Whatever you want to say. Here's my point. Many times I have my top people call you. I have my top people call you. If you're a legitimate candidate for a big-time program, I'm going to have my best people pick up the phone and call you and say, you need to do this. Because sometimes one call from them sells you a whole lot more than I could sell you. Does that make sense? Third-party validation. Okay, when I get to number 7, let's go back to Krista. Krista, have you noticed how hard we've worked to earn your business? Has anybody else worked this hard? No. Seems like you want to do this, but you're stuck on one thing. Am I right about that? I got to ask you a hard question, Krista. On a scale of 1 to 10, how serious are you about this? Well, I'm at a 4, Coach Burt. Well, tell me what would move you from a 4 to a 7. And she's going to tell me. And if I can get that out of her, okay, maybe we were going down this road and I see we can't go down that road. Maybe you're not ready for that. Maybe I get you over here in this. But the main thing, Krista, is I got to get you started because I can't help you until you commit. But once you commit, I'm not going to let you fail. Everybody see that? Everybody see that? These are my 7 touches that I use. Now, you can use these 7 touches for yourself, or you can come up with your own 7 touches. Everybody see that? Linear, the biggest thing is linear, non-linear. And the biggest thing I would tell you is keep the deal moving in a forward posture. It ain't a deal until it's a signed deal. Like, quit assuming it's a deal. Just because they told you, oh yes, I love you, I'm moving forward with you. Okay, it ain't a deal until we got a deal. Okay, bring that thing to completion. Here's my momentum boosters, then I'll let you take a break. Here's what I say when it's closing time. I brought you exactly what you wanted on a silver platter, Jareth. I brought you exactly what you wanted on a silver platter. What's stopping you from moving forward? Okay, we lose 10% of momentum every day we don't take action, maybe more. 3, there's a power in taking action. Okay, definition of power means there's source for supplying energy. When you take action, I'm going to supply so much energy to you, you ain't even going to be able to see straight. But I can't supply that energy until you do what? Till you commit. Once you commit, I'm not going to let you fail. If you got to sleep on it, you're not going to sleep in it. A lot of people talk about numbers. Well, I can't get my numbers right with this. I'm like, you're focused on the wrong thing. Do you understand what I'm saying? You're focused on the wrong thing here. You're focused on the wrong number. Okay? Sometimes if a person says, well, I can't invest $3.99 or $4.99, here's what I say. If you can't get your mind around spending $399, we're not ever going to have a conversation about you making $399,000. Because it ain't happening. You're focused on the wrong number. You follow what I'm saying? You got to move them off. Like some of y'all negotiate and they get stuck on a number. Well, you know, it's this price and I don't think I can afford it. Hey, it's $78 more a month than what you're currently paying. Okay, would you give up one night at Longhorn a month to have this? Yes or no? Okay then, okay? So you're telling me, so the phrase I use a lot is, so you're telling me, Chad, that Longhorn is more important than having this house of your dreams. Is that what you're telling me? So you're telling me, okay? What else is there to think about, and have you seen enough to make a decision? Okay? Now, we now have a before touch. We now have a during touch. When we come back from the break, we're going to finish the day with the what? After touch. How many of you are losing money because you don't have a follow-up system after the sale? All right. Last session, we're going to tackle that. So let's take 5 to 7 minutes, and then we're going to tighten this thing up and get you out of here by 2 o'clock, okay?